every trader gold. But he's learned to weather storms, let the stories unfold.
Hey Chuck, y'all make it in town okay?
Yes, sir, we did. We did just fine.
How many hours did it take you? About 6?
I want to say, yeah, it was about 6.
Yeah, about 6. Not bad. Traffic bad. Traffic good.
Decent traffic. We had a little slowdown at one point.
Somebody's
And
got their mic on.
yeah, yeah, looks like we'll get that straightened out. But yeah, looking forward to see what you got to say about this market, Tom, because I think this is a kind of a surprising open.
Well, not really. And I'll explain in a second. The market itself, and I got a couple numbers for everybody. For the S&P, I would use the 66.75 number, sort of the top of the frame. And I'd use 66.32 tonight's opening as the bottom of the frame. And I think you just got to let it play out a little bit because if you think about it, we dropped, like I said, 3.5% on the E-mini in one day on Friday. And so if you gain back 1%, you're still down 2.5%. Keep your eye on the German DAX. The German DAX, you can see that on Bloomberg. And then how Tokyo unwinds. They had some bad news out of Tokyo today with the, I guess the coalition broke down and now they're trying to figure out what to do there. But so you got to say to yourself, okay, what are bonds doing? Bonds about 1720, holding pretty neutral. And then I think that creates a lot of opportunity when you see a market do this. I would tell you that right now, hands off the mouse, but I think it leaves, there's some real good futures trades that we can make, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But tomorrow is a holiday for the banks, but the market will be open, and I think that ought to be a treat for everybody that's paying attention. We have a small class in, that's when Chuck and Jonathan are in town, and we're looking forward to that. And Adam, before I forget administratively, send me a list of the people there where I can get passes for everybody. If you don't mind, send me a
Got
list.
it.
Yeah, I got to print that out, take it in.
Yep. We'll do that now.
I appreciate it. Thank you. If everybody's been listening, I've been on this thing since I got up early Saturday morning, did a lot of work, and I call it a market turmoil because we were fat, dumb, and happy about 10:45. I guess 10:45 on Friday, and the S&P dropped 40 points, dropped from record highs, 68.12, and then it broke the low of Friday, and then it just kept breaking all the way into the close. I think there's about a 72-hour period. Write this down: 72-hour period. I wouldn't come to any conclusions until that 72-hour period's up. But we had a lot of markets, what I would call a lot of markets dropped through the bottom, and actually ended up looking pretty bad going into the close. But a lot of trading left in the month of October. We've seen this before. And I think the tone that changed from Friday prior to this market opening night went from, let's just say, tariffs on November 1st to, hey, let's talk type thing, because I think both parties realize a loaded gun at each other's head is not good for anybody. So we'll just see what happens there. But you got a lot of other things going on that we can consider. And it's a trader's market. You got to be able to trade. The best way to trade the market, in my opinion, is look at these reference bars and sort of dig in with the reference bars at the key times. This kicks off the week. And like I said, I would frame the current market with 66.32. to the downside, 66.32 to the downside. 66.32, 66.75. The longer you get into the market, these numbers become really important to you. If we start trading above or below, gold went up and peaked out about 40.77. I got some information. I've been calling this the golden age of silver. If you add inflation, this is something since the first time, 1980. If you add inflation, gold has exceeded its inflation number by a whopping 12% from 1980. Silver is down 26%. And you do the math on that, if silver gets above 50, we're probably looking at close to 60. I'd say 60 to 75 range on a silver. So there's a lot of play left in silver at the right time. And a lot of people are benefiting from that by learning how to trade it, what to do with it. But I think some big, big numbers there for people to think about on silver. And so I want to get into the presentation. Hope everybody had a great weekend. I spent a lot of weekend thinking about the market, looking at numbers. I'm very well prepared, probably about as prepared as you can get for whichever way this sucker goes. That's the way I like to say it. Whichever way this sucker goes. We got some numbers up in front of us that are pretty good resistance numbers. And down to the bottom, we got some support numbers from Friday that we have to see if we get a test of or whether or not we leave it in the dust. So I want to say thank you for coming. We've got a big crowd here tonight, and that's great. Adam, good job there. And anyway, I just think we got a lot going on. David's all smiles. David Corney is all smiles. He's learned how to trade silver futures from me, and he's just killing it. And I think that he's got a bright future when it comes to that silver, in my opinion. So I'm ready to get going. I got Chuck here tonight. We'll go through this, and it's going to be a great week, though. I can tell you that. Just pay attention. All right, if you look on YouTube, you can get some training there. Be sure to dial in to my T-Buzz TV. I'll post a free T-Buzz TV take after it trades all night, what I think the likelihood for everything to be. I'll have a lot better feel for it after we get some hours under our belt. About 6 or 7 o'clock our time tomorrow, there'll have a lot of hoopla, I guess, with the hostage release over in Israel. That'll take attention, and I think it's just some really opportunities. Now, there's risk involved in trading futures, stocks, or options. I think that you can minimize that risk if you educate yourself. For the life of it, if you got to think of the market in probabilities. If you can improve your accuracy rate, think about it. It lowers your risk. How many people like that idea of having a better accuracy rate with lower risk? Just in a general conceptual tone. Think about that. The higher you can be accurate, the less risk you got to take. Now, I'm Tom Busby, former Air Force officer, active trader since the 70s. I've been a futures trader for years, former member of the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, author of 3 books, Winning the Day Trading Game, The Markets Never Sleep, and Trade to Win. I like working with students because that's the fun part of what I do. At DTI, we help you master the markets through education, believe in education, educate yourself, training, got a lot of that, and experience. Schedule for the week, pretty aggressive. I got an in-person futures class Monday and Tuesday. 11 o'clock, we have our train and trade every day. 7:30 tomorrow night, we have futures education. And at 9 o'clock, I got a special. The reason I'm doing this week is I want to be able to participate in some great future setups. And this week, there's no better time to do it when you got a market like this. So if you're in my futures education, you got whole bunch of bonuses I'm throwing your way. Does everybody see what I'm doing there? Monday night, Tuesday night. Really got some extra things to do, okay? And that's exactly what we're going to try to do, be as aggressive as possible when the time is right. In my opinion, you got to be careful here because this market, the consensus is it'll be back up in about 2 or 3 days. It could last longer than that. Notice that the date, both China and the US are using as sort of the date in the future is November 1st. If you think about it, November 1st is not all that far away. November 1st, we got to get this thing resolved pretty quick, in my opinion. Now, what I did tonight, the 10 tickers, I created what I would call a two-way trade. I've got the SQQ. If it gets above 1755, I would buy it. If the TQQ gets above 106.55, I buy it. I've led off with those two. I said if TLT goes above 90.81, it's an interest rate play. I'd buy it. I said the nuclear sector looks good to me, held up good, greater than 48.55. I think that's a buy. If Meta, which has been under pressure, drops below 687, I would short it, maybe a put spread. Amazon below 214, same thing. Apple below 239, same thing. Gold, GLD above 374.55. I would do some option plays there. I said if the Dow drops below 449.40, I'd get short there. And of course, if silver goes above 46.55, you can buy some more of that. What I try to do is have a two-way trade this week on the 10 tickers. I wanted to hit it no matter which way it goes. Let the market dictate to us how to make money. Does everybody understand the rationale here with that? Okay. Todd says Oklo is up 152% since I first started talking about the nuclear sector. Yeah, NNE's up quite a bit too, but Oklo's the big winner, that's for sure. Anyway, this is our plan. Write these numbers down, set alerts on your machine, be ready to act if you get the opportunity this week. You should get the opportunity this week with the plan I got there. Probabilities week, I guess on Monday, strong on Tuesday, strong on Wednesday, strong on Thursday, and pretty strong on Friday. So once we weather 72 hours, you see that it looks like you get better statements, a better feel for what's going on between China and U.S. Market should have a rapid recovery if that occurs. If it doesn't occur, what you saw on Friday, you'll see more of. Pretty simple. Long, short, or out. Monday's going to be real key to watch those numbers. News for the week. This week, we've got what Fed Chair Powell's going to talk. That's on Tuesday. That's interesting. Okay. This Tuesday, he loves to talk. CPI on Wednesday, but that's probably not going to happen, not unless the government comes together. I've heard that the Democrats are not going to do anything to the 18th. Okay. The 18th of October. Okay. Write that date down. That's a key pivotal date when the Democrats say they'll be opening up the government. Okay. I saw where the military is going to be paid. That was good. I thought that was some positive news I saw over the weekend. But these numbers here, it's going to be rapid fire with economic numbers. That's something that's going to keep people on their toes. Rapid fire with all the government reports that will be reported once the government comes back. Okay. Market turmoil. I called it market turmoil because the ES was down 3.5%. We lost all our gains for the month of October in about 10 hours. But what got me more concerned than anything else is the VIX. It was up 25%, folks. When the VIX goes up 25%, you got to go, whoa, caution. Does everybody understand what I'm saying? Not a time to go running up that mountain right now. You want to be careful. That's what you're trying to do when you see a VIX up 25%. That's a huge. Tonight, the VIX right now has come off that 25%. I look at VIX futures / VX. It's down about 9% from where it is. That's a nice start on returning to normal. Okay. Now that happened on Friday, folks. All day long, it kept getting higher and higher and higher. And we made a nice weekend side hustle trade, didn't we? Who made that trade on a weekend side hustle? Wasn't that a great trade we made Friday? Sort of loved it myself. Weekend side hustle. 5 insights for this market. Follow the E-mini futures. How many people have heard me say follow the E-mini futures? The reason I say that, folks, is because the E-mini futures, 75% of all stocks will trade with the E-mini futures. And if the stocks, if the E-mini futures is moving higher, like tonight it's up 1%, you'll see stocks come up. Everybody understand that concept? Okay. Follow the E-mini futures. Let me teach you how to follow that, folks. I've been trading it for years. It's the most helpful thing I can probably do. Know the importance of the monthly open. The monthly open for October, write this number down, don't forget it, is 67.25. We're below that number right now, so we're not all in. Everybody understand that? The chips are pulled back when you're below that number. 67.25. Remember that number. Key numbers. All right, I'm going to give you some numbers here that will help you navigate the current market. Y'all ready? Let me give it to you. We'll start at the low end, 6,600, 6,600, 6,632, 6,645, 6,675, 6,695, 6,725. That'll take you to the up. That last one is the monthly open. You can navigate any market using those numbers right there. Okay? Those are the numbers I'll be using until we break out of that range. Everybody got those numbers? Number 4, plan your trade. If you do a trade, here's what you got to know. Where are you going to enter it, right? I.e., if I'm going to enter the market to the long side, I got to know where I'm going to enter it. If I'm going to enter it to the short side, I got to know where I'm going to enter it. Okay? I got to know where I'm wrong. I got to know what my target is. Know the following. 55 points is the average true range. I mean, the S&P will move about 55 points on a normal day. Now, this is not a normal day. Okay? Got it? But 55 points is a ballpark number you need to know. That's planning your trade. Always use defined risk. Friday, when the market fell 170 S&P points from the high to the low, having a defined risk helps you keep your wits about you. Always, always have that exit door up front. That's why I like spreads. You play the market downside, use the put spread. Play the market at upside, you have a call spread. Use it. Defined risk will help you. This is important. Define risk. Make sure anything in your account's got defined risk. You know if you lose totally what you're going to lose. Mistake I made in 1987. Let's go through the 10 questions I've been talking about. I thought these were good questions to be thinking about coming into the night. Did everybody see the questions posted in the rooms this weekend? Let me ask that question before I get started. The 10 questions. Okay. Number 1, What is the current state of the market? Turmoil. This is not a normal market. You don't see the market jack up a 1.5% and drop 3.5%. See, I would call it very unstable right now. Unstable markets lead to a lot of people losing a lot of money. The best thing to do, let it narrow, let that range narrow. But there's opportunity if you know what you're looking for. That's the current state of the market. What should you be watching? Here's what you should be watching. Those numbers I just gave you. I told you the current defined range, 66.32, 66.75. That's the current defined range for tonight. Okay? We have a tool inside the roadmap I'll use throughout this whole period. It's called the Money Maker. You'll see it posted sometime after 9 tonight. That's what you should be watching. When are the markets open? When are the stock markets or stocks open? Stocks are open right now. If you go look at your Schwab data feed, if you got a Schwab account, you will see stocks trading. How many people knew stocks were trading right now? This is something a lot of people don't know. They open at 8 o'clock. That's when stocks open. When are options open? Options on futures are open right now, but options on stock open at 9:30 tomorrow morning. 9:30 tomorrow morning. And they go to 4, some to 4:15. Okay? That's when options on equities are open. Options on futures are open right now. When do futures open? Futures open every night at 6 o'clock. It opened at 6 o'clock tonight. Futures have been trading for over 2 hours. That's when futures are open. Take notes. This is valuable information. This is what you need to know. What does the term limit down mean? Does everybody realize if the market sold off 7%, the market would stop trading? That's called limit down. 7%. That's the first stage of limit down. The second stage is approximately 10%, and the third stage is 20%. That's limit down. Okay? And there's the number. If we got down that low on the S&P, they'd stop trading. So I want you to know this stuff. What are numbers that help you understand trend? Reference bar numbers, RB1. RB1 is 66.32 to 66.75. That helps you understand the trend. We're trading inside that right now. And if you're trading inside that, that means it's spinning. Does everybody understand that concept? 66.32 to 66.75. Okay. How many people knew about the limit down? They have limit downs for stocks too, but if the market gets out of hand, they'll stop trade. That's what they learned from 1987. Let people gather their air. How important is the monthly open? For me, the monthly open's everything. The monthly open is why I'm so successful teaching and trading with people, because I use that as my pivot number for the month. So if the monthly open is higher, 67.25, we're trading 66.60. I'm not putting a lot of equity positions on right now because of that, okay? Everybody got that? Monthly open. That's why you look at things, oil's below its monthly open, it's going down. That's an example. Gold is above its monthly open, going up. A real quick thing to say is, what is the monthly open of anything you're trading? To take a look at it. What's the worst mistake traders make? Everybody's got a lot of different ones. This is what I'm going to say. Getting into a trade outside your plan. That's the worst mistake you can make. In other words, all of a sudden you hear this is good and you go do something, you end up losing money. Okay? Everybody got that? Have a plan. That's what we're here to do doing it. Williams is not following me, thinking we are. But really, the worst mistake, we're going to have a plan. Let's be decisive, but at the same time, let's have a plan. What tools does DTI have that we developed that helps you navigate any market turmoils? Two answers here. The roadmap software, roadmap to the markets. I can't trade without it. I'm looking at it right now. I got all my numbers and I can look around and see exactly what everything means by looking at it. And the second one is MTI by DTI. It's something we developed for a quick and dirty slide, okay? Pretty good stuff, huh? So now these are the 10 questions. If you tune in, I've got a lot more questions this week I will pose to you throughout each and every day. Stay with me. Train and trade tomorrow. I'll have some questions for you. Does people like what I'm doing here to teach you about stuff like this? Does this help you think about things? Huh? This is what I'm trying to do, is show you to have a process, part of my process. Let's talk futures plus education. My experience in futures goes back over 40 years. The reason I'm talking about futures, every one of you need to be with me in the futures and learn about it. I owned a brokerage firm. I've been a member of CME. I've taught futures for years. I think that I can teach you things you won't get out of the textbook from the School of Hard Knocks. I was part of the team that brought the DAX to America. The DAX is the German Dow, another way of saying that. It's up right now 0.29%, relatively not doing as well as the US market. Keep your eye on it. It will be the first thing that breaks. If we go higher, it will go higher. If it breaks lower, you know what time of night that happens? Take a guess what time of night that Dancing with the DAX becomes a reality. I'm going to give it to you. 4:30, RB2 is when the DAX becomes a reality, 4:30. Think about that. Love that DAX. I was a key marketer for it when they brought it to America, CME, and helped it introduce the DAX to the retail market in America. A great experience of my life, working with the Eurex Exchange, working with CME, working with all the exchanges out of Chicago. I got selected to do that, and I learned a lot about what I call dancing with the DAX. If you ever watched a Fed meeting, the DAX always moves first. I don't know if you knew that. There's an insight for you. Write it down. I was one of only 50 people outside of Chicago hand-selected to have an electronic trading terminal called Globex. This allowed me to see the market way before everybody else did electronically. Learn the power of news. Learning everything about it. This is something that gave me an edge, really brought me back from 1987, but it allowed me personally to learn this 24-hour market. I quit teaching futures about 5-7 years ago. I started back about 2 years ago by request, and I love it. I love teaching people what I know about this market called futures. I trade it personally. I didn't think I'd talk much about futures in the futures, but I do. I do it every day through the E-mini. 2 years ago, that changed. I put a course together at the request of students, and you need to learn, You got to learn what I can teach you. If you don't do everything else, you get with me and learn about futures, and all of a sudden your accuracy will go up, your risk will go down, and you will be able to grow your account because I will teach you what it takes around the clock to use futures. I rebuilt our whole futures education program. It now includes options on futures. I love options on futures. I started hosting weekly sessions for a small group of committed traders. We meet every Monday night at 7. We expand our education. I lay out what I would consider the hot market of the week and how to take it. All sessions are recorded. The top students of those classes swear how it's revolutionary. I have a guy, Dave was here talking about silver. Dave started futures trading about 4 weeks ago, and it's amazing how all that other stuff out there gets pushed to the wayside, and he just crank it. Likes that silver. In fact, learning futures has grown his account substantially. I taught him what he needed to know, and he's still learning. Bill said, known me for over 15 years, you want to learn, you ought to learn from me. This guy's been with me a long time. I talked to him prior to doing this presentation. One of our great students. He's the one that created over there in the right-hand corner what I call the DTI salute. We make money. If we're all together, we're all stand up and do that. It's pretty funny. He's the guy. Ron sent this love letter. Each day using my pivot number, and I saw people talking about it, keeps him safe whether the market's going up, down, or out. Knowing the pivot number, the place to buy or the place to sell, is so valuable to you. You don't have to listen to CNBC, you don't have to listen to anything. If you got that pivot number and know where the S&P is trading to it, I give it to you free every day. Take advantage of that. Tonight, we have a few. I've got something new I'm bringing to the table. I want you to listen. How many people would like me, Tom Busby, to show you how, with 3 simple steps, you can learn to trade what I call the Micro E Mini? How many people would like that, to educate yourself and lower your risk through 3 simple steps? You gotta know the time. I'm gonna teach you that. I'm gonna teach you, matter of fact, I'm gonna have my first class on that later on tonight at 9. I was thinking, let's make it simple. I'll show you what to look for. Well, folks, it's coming, and it's coming less than an hour from now. 3 steps, not the Texas 2-step, but the T-Bus 3-step is going to show you how to take that in this particular market and grow your account. Now, you got to have a futures account. Now, here's a list of the classes we held so far. Look at all these classes we taught online. E-mini options, using options with futures, using gold options, education on how to sell puts and create income or calls on gold futures, using spreads with futures. By the way, did you know you can trade futures 25 times in a small account? You don't get a pattern day trade rule. Why is that? Because the farmers run futures. They're like Sounder bunch, the farmers, rather than those Wall Street guys. Crude oil, I told you it's going to 45. It's en route for going to 45. Make some money there. I'll show you the trade. I think it's the trade of the year. Bonds, they're going higher. I got a strategy there. It's 1% strategy. It seems to be working pretty good. Not too late. They're going a lot higher as we go through this interest rate cycle. About the tune of about 40%. Gold and silver together, working in together. E-mini and micro together. Telegram channel. We have a Telegram channel for this where we reach out to you throughout the week with key information. I used the Tasty Trade platform to teach it because it's so simple to use. The Tasty Trade bracket order is a very good way to go into any futures market and know how much you're going to lose, how much you're going to make. Pretty powerful stuff. MTI and roadmap, I'll show you how that plays into things. I call it futures first because it's so much more. Understanding futures is gateway to the rest of the stock market. In fact, the E-mini relates to the SPY. If you trade the SPY, you better learn the E-mini. Trade the QQQ, you better learn the NASDAQ. If you trade the Dow, you better learn the Dow future. If you trade crude oil, or if you trade USO, you better learn crude oil. If you trade silver, you better learn silver futures. If you trade bonds, you better learn TLT. This is how it works. They're correlated, and futures is always moving first before the stocks move. That's why I call it futures first. If the E-mini goes up, the SPY goes up. Go look at the SPY tonight. It's higher than where it was Friday afternoon because the E-mini's up. E-mini goes down, the SPY goes down. Simple concept, but it works. Futures Plus education class is ongoing. I'm continuing expanding our library every Monday night at 7 o'clock. We record it. So if you get the recording, you can do some good, can't you? The format for Futures Plus, we train on Monday night. And then at 9 o'clock that night, out of what I call the Seven Sisters, I will highlight one of the futures market, and you go and you take the video, and this is how you trade it for the week. Pretty simple concept, but it works. I told you market turmoil. The E-mini was down 3.5%. The VIX was up 25 just on Friday. Nobody knows what it's going to do tomorrow, but I can tell you this. In the short term, the reference bars and futures are a marriage made in heaven. The annual cost is $17.49 for my online version, but I wanted to do something special. I wanted to do something tonight, not only for the existing members, but for any new members. So take advantage of it. That's the annual cost, $17.49 online, worth every cent of it. Because of the market turmoil, and I want to teach what I'm doing, and I'm going to have a lot of FaceTime with you this week. You can sign up if you're an existing member for another year, and new members can sign up at this heavily discounted price. But you got to act tonight. We start at 9 o'clock. You can join for $12.49 for a year. Notice I say it's a limited time offer. So if you're a current member, you want to add a year, do it tonight. I put this price because of this market turmoil, and I wanted to make sure that everybody that was out there could get in for a solid year with me to learn this stuff. That is a bargain. Yes, you can buy multiple years at this price tonight if you want to. Limited time offer. It includes 1 year of online trading, all the recordings, everything that's going to happen. It includes a bonus 5 master classes on Delta trading strategies. And this week only, you go to Telegram each night at 9 o'clock. Don't like scholarships, here it is. 9 o'clock for the Futures Edge for the next 24 hours. Goals included too. You got to buy this. You got to buy it. This is totally outside the goal. This is $12.49. Add to it if you want it. Any questions about it? Limited time offer. I've discounted it way down if people want to join. Now, if you're going to join, put your name and email in here where we make sure you get invited to that class tonight at 9 o'clock. Okay? If you're going to join. Tell me you're going to join. If you know, all the existing members will get an email. This includes the existing members, but if you're all right, Roz, they'll get you in there. Good, good, good. Folks, take advantage of this. People in my futures know this is a bargain. Big bargain. 1 year. Never offered it this low, but I'm doing it tonight. We're going to take advantage of this market turmoil, right, David? I'll teach those 3 simple steps tonight. Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Take advantage of it. Neil said, this is a gift. I just joined for an extra year. Way to go, Neil. Smart. David just joined for another year. Wow. These are existing players saying this is too good to pass up. I got it. Join, 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 join. Any other questions? Everybody's going to know the T-Buzz 3-step at 9 o'clock. Don't worry, if you don't have a futures account, you'll have one in the next couple of days at Tasty Trade. You'll be able to take advantage of it this week. Simple, it's straight, it's easy to understand. Way to go. Good way to go. Anybody got any other questions for me? Way to go, Miles. I mean, they know how good it is. This is unbelievable I did it. I just felt like market turmoil. You know, I went through the crash of 1987. This is where the value proposition, you know, the cream rises to the top on a week like this is going to be. We're going to take advantage of it. That's exactly what we're going to do. You've asked me that question 10 times. Did you join my futures? Well, join my futures. I know the exact number. Exact number. Too valuable. You need about $2,000, okay? Less than 18. Roger Sessions, one of my futures, a doctor out of Texas, just said he can't wait to do the 3-step. You're going to love what I've done. I've simplified the whole process to a time and what to look for. You like that, Roger? This is for people to put on in the evening and let it go. Absolutely. That number's less than 18, there, less than 18 is the number you're looking for. Don't trade this market without understanding futures. I don't care if you trade futures, but learn what futures are telling you and the message they're telling you, okay? That's what you got to do. You got to learn. Roger says, you better wake up to this opportunity. You never saw me offer it this cheap, did you? Yeah, James, we'll share the slides to you. We'll definitely do that. All right, so here's the plan. You'll get an email. No, I tell you what, go into the Futures First Telegram channel, okay? And we'll post the link for the Zoom in there to have the meeting at 9, okay? That'd be the easy way to do it. At 9 o'clock, we'll post it, and that way you can be in there. You got to go to the Telegram channel, Futures First. We'll let you in there, and then we'll go from there. All right, see you. See you. I'm going to that room right now to make sure Everything is good. That's the Telegram channel, Futures First. Folks, if you don't think I'm ready for this week, you don't know me. I've been working on this for 40 something years. Yeah, you can use that. That's no problem. Look, the only reason I recommend the Tasty Trade for people that's never traded futures is easy to understand. Lynette, did you talk to Roe like I told you? You got to take it upon yourself when I told you that. You got to follow through. Yeah, like Tony's going to sign up, but he won't stay in Schwab. I'm fine with that. That's no big deal. You got to be there. Lynette, he was traveling down here, okay? He was traveling down here. He'll get on it tonight. He'll get an email to you. How's that? Adam, make sure Roe gets that thing from Lynette. She asked on Friday afternoon. All right, if you're in my class tomorrow here in Ponte Vedra Beach, the Futures First, that's the best program you want to add to do better than any program I got. Learn this futures market. We'll get started at 8:30 tomorrow morning. 8:30 tomorrow morning. Adam said he wanted, can we replay this for everybody? And then I'll start at 9:30. You want to do it that way? Adam, do you want to do it that way? Replay it and then I'll start at 9:30. Yeah, Debbie, it's in its own Telegram channel called Futures First. I didn't get an answer from Adam. Did anybody? Start it in 10 minutes. Got it. We'll go in there. I'm waiting for an answer from Adam or somebody to let me know. Way to go, Oscar. Take another year. Good man. Is Adam still here? Did they just leave me hanging? Oh, you just got the invite? Okay. Got it. Behind the 8 ball. Okay. Jonathan, you saw Lynette needs to get an email response from you. Do me a favor, ready to shut down this room, or we're going to replay it? What we're going to do? You need an invite to the Futures Telegram channel, Carolyn. All right, folks, get signed up. I'll get started at 9 o'clock in there. First time you heard the session. Perfect. Way to go, Rob. Way to go. I'll see you on this week. Rob, I'll see Rob. All right, I'm about ready to go over into the new Zoom room for the training, the 3-step. Tony, get into the room. Make sure you just signed up. Get into the room. Jonathan, you helping Tony out? He just signed up. I want to make sure I don't start before everybody gets there. Perfect. Going pretty fast. That's good. Hector, go to the Futures First Telegram channel. It's posted in there. Go into the room. You'll see it in there. I just looked up there. They got it in there. Okay. Got the link and everything. It's in the Futures First Education room, Hector. Roz, post your email in there, and Jonathan, check that out. Make sure she's got everything to get there. All right, folks. I'm going to take a 3-minute break, and I'll get started shortly after 9 in the new Zoom room for Futures First. Okay. I'm going to do this tomorrow night also. Okay. Everybody got it? Okay. I'll see everybody over. I'm going to exit this room. We'll record it in case you miss it, but I'm going to get going.